Welcome to Cars with Big Boy Trev season finale. My name is Big Boy Trev.
My name is Mirigi.
You've had an amazing season, amazing cars, and of course you as a fans, thank you so much for the support. Today we're going to do a special. We're going to talk about the cars that have impacted season 2. So let's get on with it with the first car. On to our first review. We went to Frankfurt Motor Show, and that was the highlight of the season 2 as we entered KTN home, and we had an amazing time at Frankfurt. Mr. Mirigi, tell us the highlights of Frankfurt.
The motor show was incredible. The highlight of that specific motor show was the launch of the Land Rover Defender.
Yes.
People had really been waiting for that for the longest time, since I think they did the concept of the 100X
Yes.
a few years back. So it was incredible to be among one of the first people in the world to have a look at that car.
And I can tell you for a fact, CBBT will be the first to have the local test on CBBT, so stay tuned. We're going to give you the lowdown on when and where we'll have this particular test. Moving on as well, we saw the introduction of the ID3 by Volkswagen.
Yes.
How was that?
That was very interesting. It's important now to notice that instead of what other guys are doing, they're actually allowing you to change the battery on the fly to respond to what you want to do. So if you want to be driving city driving, you put a smaller battery, you have bigger capacity. You want to go to Mombasa, you actually go physically, they change the battery, they give you a bigger one to allow you to do that long highway driving. So it's interesting to see now the future of Volkswagen as a brand, because that they also did the launch of the new logo. At the time, it's a newer, flatter logo. We went through that quite a while, and we saw quite a lot of stuff at that Volkswagen stand.
I can tell you for a fact, we also saw the introduction of the IQ3, which is, I think, is a crossover that is coming soon.
Yep.
And you know, as you know, the crossover segment is the largest, it's a growing one. By 2025, they predict that 50% of total vehicle sales will become SUVs and crossover. So I think Volkswagen are in the right direction. Moving on, also at the show, we saw the Porsche Taycan.
Yep.
Tell me more about it.
Well, I mean, electric is the future. We were talking about, of course, the Volkswagen.
Yes.
Same family, of course, when you're talking about Porsche. But the Taycan ignited so much interest during the year, and to the point that Tesla's CEO, Elon Musk, actually asked for that car now to do a head-to-head on the famed Nürburgring.
Speaking of him,
Yeah.
he launched the Cybertruck.
Yes.
It's a wedge sort of truck that is sort of futuristic and represent the electric face
Yeah.
of pickup trucks. So it was quite interesting to see the number of innovations Elon has done over the years, and we expect a lot from him.
Yep.
Moving on. Now, our first item we did for the show was the Ford Ranger Raptor.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you for a fact, that car left a big impression on me and also to the viewers. Tell me more about the Raptor.
Well, we saw it being built in the factory itself in Pretoria. So we actually did from start to finish, from bare metal to the thing that is currently on the ground by there at TMC. You can actually go and check it out. I think it's 9.5 million shillings.
Yes.
You had the chance to drive it in the flesh, I remember,
Yes.
in Namibia. Was it Namibia and South Africa?
It was in the border between Namibia and South Africa.
Yeah.
And I can tell you for a fact, there is no pickup in the market right now that has that capacity and capability to handle what the wild truck could do. Fox Sport suspension.
Yep.
That thing can go literally over anything. The 2-liter bi-turbo, 500 Nm of torque, 10-speed automatic, and of course you do have subtle things that make the Raptor the Raptor. And of course we've had news as well the last 2 weeks that they're introducing a new V8.
Yep.
That is going to be exciting. Remember the 5.0 that's on the Mustang? It's coming on the Raptor, so you can see there's a lot of development. Speaking of that, Hilux also just launched and have announced that they're introducing a GR-V6.
Yep.
Tell me about it.
Yes, Toyota Gazoo Racing. They're doing a really good job right now. I think they just concluded the Paris-Dakar rally that's happening right now. They had a very good showing. A bit of an accident, I understand, but anyway, that's not an indictment on the quality of the car, and it's incredible to see that they're putting that technology in a car that you can walk into a showroom and buy.
Speaking of GRMN, Toyota have just announced the introduction of the Yaris GRMN, which is like a road car for the Rally World Car Championship that it won last year.
Yeah.
Now it shows that Toyota actually listening to the consumers, because people are complaining that Toyota are making bland cars, and the chairman said it's time for Toyota to change tact and make fun cars. What do you think?
I like that chairman a lot. He drives a GT86 by
Yes.
there as his daily driver. So it's interesting to see that they're moving past that thing of selling economy boxes, which is what Toyota has been doing for the longest time. Makes them a lot of money. I think they're number 3
Yes.
most sold right now. So it's interesting to see that they're getting into that space. They've done the Supra, is the GT86 we're
Yes.
talking about. And so now having their own motorsports arm
Yes.
that they can do as a trim level for their existing models is going to be definitely very interesting. Because there are very many models like the Hilux that you're talking about.
Yes.
I would love to see a GRMN
Yes.
Land Cruiser.
Yes.
By the way,
Which I think they might be tempted to make, because
Let's see.
Nissan have done the Nismo Patrol,
Oh, yeah.
which is coming again, and we'll do the 2020 review coming soon.
Yep.
Moving on to a neighbor of Toyota, Mazda. We did quite a number of Mazdas, actually to be 2 to be specific.
Yep.
The CX-9 and the CX-5. Mr. Mirigi, Which was your highlight?
Man, Mazda really was punching above its weight with those cars. I was pleasantly surprised with each of those reviews. The CX-9 itself is the epitome of luxury. I think it's what they're calling, there's a Japanese thing that they're talking about with craftsmanship.
Yes.
Attention to detail.
Yes.
And they did not drop the ball with that. It punches above its weight. That CX-9. And the CX-5 is so much fun to drive with that 2.5 litre engine.
And imagine it's a 2.5 litre with an actual automatic transmission, not CVT.
Yeah.
So you have more driver engagement, and of course you do have quite a number of things, Kodo safety system around the vehicle. So you have active brake by torque vectoring by braking, and many things that you only find on the premium end models and still have it on a car that is as premium and as comfortable as a Mazda CX-5 or the CX-9. The level of quality, if you're to hide that badge, would you think it's a German vehicle?
Definitely, definitely. In fact, I think we need to do that actually on our social media handles, which you can see below. Yes, but basically, I think they have really done a really good job. The pricing is aggressive. I mean, you're talking about like 7.5, 6.5 million, which for a showroom car, at that price, I was not expecting any of the stuff that we saw. That leather in the CX-9 is exactly the kind of stuff that you see in a Range Rover, in a BMW, in an Audi. I'd go that far as to say that. So those cars they really genuinely impressed. And I can't wait to see the 2020 refresh on the CX-9, which should be coming soon. They are going to put a lot more of the safety tech that we see in other countries, radar-guided cruise control. All of that stuff is going to be coming at that price point.
So moving on to Ford. We've seen and tested the Everest, Mr. Mwirigi. And as you know, the Everest is based on the Ranger platform, which means it's tough, it's durable, and of course it's very, very capable. What are your highlights of the Everest?
Well, I like the fact that they paid attention to what the interior was like. So you don't just get the standard Ranger interior. There's more premium materials, it looks better. The off-roading capabilities are actually really good. They made the suspension a little softer because it's not a pickup anymore, and that worked out fantastically. It's fun to drive. It's incredibly capable off-road because at the beginning, in its DNA, of course now is the DNA of that T6 Ranger. We saw in South Africa that they both come off the exact same assembly line. So when we are saying it's as in the heart of the car is the same, no jokes. Body on frame, it could be a T6 Ranger. So it was really fantastic. The terrain management control system on that is actually out of a Discovery because that's the time that Ford used to own Land Rover. So it is incredibly capable off-road, loads of space. It has a fantastic interior. The engine is actually pretty amazing. And the looks, that really depends on its beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Absolutely. And I can tell you for a fact that the rivals will include the Hilux, Best Fortuner, and of course the Pajero Sport. We want to test them. So Toyota Kenya, if you're seeing us, please, we want to test the 2020 Fortuner, and of course Simba Colt, we want to do the Pajero Sport. Hit us up. We're going to give you on season 3 all these reviews. Moving on, we also did an amazing vehicle, and it's a BMW X5. Guys, I'm telling you, the feeling that I had on that car was amazing. What was your thought about it?
I was again blown away by what they've done. That was the 4th generation X5. They've paid, it's bigger, it's wider. The interior now is the new, of course, interior design that BMW is doing. So loads of stuff. It blew my mind that there are almost like 5 ways you can put input into the system. There's voice. You can actually just use gestures. There's the iDrive controller down here. There's the steering wheel. As in, that car is just built around the driver in a very interesting way. And the amount of power that thing had was actually, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Let me tell you, straight 6 power, that is the soul, heart and soul of BMW.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you can have the 4 cylinders, you can have the diesels, but the inline 6, that is the soul of BMW. Absolute driving pleasure. And of course, we also did something from Range Rover. We did the Range Rover Sport. And that was not any other Range Rover Sport. We did which type?
The Range Rover Sport. The diesel, actually. The diesel turbocharged version. And we did the Range Rover autobiography.
5-liter V8 supercharged. 550 horsepower. Premium, exquisite materials being used inside. And we had so much fun in South Africa. And we drove those cars. And I can tell you for a fact, Jaguar Land Rover really upped their game. They're up there with the rest of the Germans. And I can tell you in terms of quality, in terms of performance, and even warranties. I was surprised they offer a 5-year, 200,000 kilometer warranty on their products, Jaguar or Land Rover. And of course, in Kenya, you can have a 5-year, 60,000 kilometer service plan, which you can actually get. And of course, you do have the reliability and service and backup of Inchcape. I mean, that's amazing because remember the brand also had issues. They were in transition from 2 other dealers, and now they've settled with Inchcape. And I can tell you for a fact, we had a lot of fun. And finally, Mr. Mwirigi, the car behind you is the highlight we chose to be the season finale of Cars with Big Boy Trev Season 2. Tell us more about it.
This has the longest name of any car we've reviewed so far. In full, it's the Mercedes AMG GLE 63s Coupe, and we are going to drive it right now.
Welcome to CBBT season finale. Season 2 has been amazing, and today we have an amazing car that we are reviewing for you. The Mercedes GLE, and not any GLE. This is the GLE 63 AMG S. Top of the line, top of the cream on this particular brand. And of course, we're going to give you the lowdown, how it looks, how it behaves on the road, and of course, value for money proposition. But let's start. Let's talk about the design. As you can see, this particular design, it looks similar to a brand in Bavaria. I wouldn't mention that name. But you see that sports activity coupe design? It is amazing because it gives this car a sporty look. That's where the market is, and everybody's trying to get a piece of that pie. If you look at this particular design, it's true fashion AMG. Look at this bumper. You can see the piano black finish on the grille, and of course over here you can see the front air dam has been given that splitter effect, creating a lot of downforce. I know Mercedes have done a lot of wind tunnel testing to ensure this car is stable on the road. And of course you do have the big Mercedes star shining upon us, and this is basically used to give this car presence. As you can see, both lines and creases on the bonnet gives this car that, you know, aerodynamic feel, and of course the lights, quadratic headlamps with LED that move. When you cut the steering on the left and right, they move, giving you clear field of vision. I can tell you for a fact Mercedes has not spared anything to anyone, making sure that this particular GLE remains top of the cream. Come in, step inside this luxurious cabin of this particular Mercedes. I love it because it shows the level of fit and finish, the premiumness that Mercedes have given this car to play in the leagues of the BMW X6, the Porsche Cayenne, and many others, the Range Rover Sport. So in terms of quality, you expect German engineering and quality in this particular car. Let's start with the dashboard. Now the dashboard is where everything feels and looks. The touch and feel makes it very premium. The leather stitching on the dashboard plus the veneer wood trim, as you can see, it's real wood, gives this car that feeling that it is bespoke. As you can see here, you have a tablet style infotainment system that houses navigation that works in Kenya, radio, and media. When I talk about media, you have USB and Bluetooth connectivity. And again, the sound, you know me, I love sound. I want to show you something. It has a 16 speaker Harman Kardon sound that sounds like this. Can you hear that around? I'm telling you guys, listen. I'm telling you, this is top of the line audio system, and when Mercedes puts Harman Kardon, you know they don't play. The information display actually is controlled by this command system. It's a rotary command system that allows you to toggle through the different menus by simply rotating the rotor, and then once you select, you push it down and it gives you the details that you need for this particular car. Obviously you do have this section here as well. It's an extension of the screen, so it will tell you all the details that you need. It has a telephone, you do have radio, media, and then you can control the sound analogically using this dial, and of course you can even press the buttons like a phone and call up and dial up wherever you want. And right below it you do have some buttons. So these buttons allow you to select some certain functions of the cabin. So for example, heated seating and cooling is standard in this particular car. You do have start stop for that annoying time when you're in traffic. The vehicle will switch off to save you fuel, and of course you do have park assist, which comes as standard in this particular car. And right below it you have climate control. It's dual zone. Actually you can control the different temperature settings, so the passenger can have their own, the driver can have their own, and of course the guys at the back as well, they do have their own setting at the back. So everybody feels very comfortable during long distances in the Mercedes GLE 63s AMG. Seats are comfortable. You have multi-way power adjusted seats that allows you to have memory setting that gives you ability to use 3 drivers to use the same seat. We don't know how comfortable this car at the back. We're going to ask Mirigi to give us a lowdown on the space on the passenger seat and of course at the rear.
Okay, so sitting at the back here, it's actually very comfortable. This is indeed a Mercedes. So all of the fabrics that you're touching here are very nice. All this leather, this dark thing at the top here, you still have that open pore wood at the back. Everything you feel and touch here is really very premium. And there's additional space over here with 2 cup holders. They also have 2 12-volt sockets if you want to charge your devices. Let's check into the boot and see what it has in terms of additional productivity. So guys, 577 horsepower. So realistically, if you see this on the road in Kenya, this is what you're going to be seeing, the back over here. But first things first, I'm just going to look at the interior. We do have a power tailgate that reveals a very deep boot, very wide, but not very tall because this coupe body style actually eats into the space at the back here a bit. But there's still a lot of space here available, including a space saver spare tire, which is the most interesting one I've seen so far, and tie down hooks for your stuff, lots of cubby holes in the side, and a 12-volt socket. So let's get this on the road and see what the beast has to offer.
So guys, we're gonna test the power of this particular GLE 63 AMG, and right now I have 577 horsepower on my back end column on my right foot, and we're gonna show you how much power and acceleration this car has. So let's go. 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? And I'm about to floor it. Go! Whoa! Listen to the nice speed shifting. It's so lightning, dual clutch transmission, pre-selects the next gear to ensure that you have maximum acceleration, you have a lot of power on top, and you have a lot of power to take on the 4 wheels courtesy of the 9-speed, and of course the 4matic redistributes the power to ensure that you have enough grip on any surface. This car is a monster. I'm telling you, if you were to bring your WRX STI or Mitsubishi Evo, my friend, it's gonna be a long, long day. For your car to be safe on the road, it has a mix of active and passive safety features to protect you and your family from harm's way. So for the active front, you do have electronic stability program, which comes as standard, anti-lock braking system, and of course you have cornering braking assist. You do have quite a number of systems in play to ensure that you remain steady on the road. But in case all hell breaks loose, then of course you can rely on the 5-star safety rating of the cabin, and of course multiple airbags that are strewn across the cabin to ensure that you and your family remains out of harm's way. Now, we've done the on-road part, we need to go off-road. So I'm going to hand over to Mr. Mirigi, who's going to give us a lowdown on this particular car, off-road prowess. Because remember, it's a coupe, it's a 4-wheel-drive vehicle, and of course it must pass the test of driving on a maram or rough surface.
So guys, we're doing the unthinkable and we're taking an AMG off the road. But if you're going to take an AMG off the road, this would be a good one to take because this is a GLE. So it actually is based on the GLE SUV. So it can handle a limited amount of off-roading. This doesn't have any specific off-road modes, but you can raise the air suspension to get a little more clearance. Of course, you'd have to have a lot better tires than these road-going tires, but so far it seems to be handling itself very well. This is a T farm. If you can afford this car, you'll probably want to go and check out the farm, check out the Shamba on the weekend, and you'll be able to do that with this. Speaking of the price, let's go to value for money.
It's been a thrill with the GLE 63 AMG S. And I can tell you for a fact, it's worth every penny. I'm telling you, the 5.5 liter V8 twin turbo. I'm telling you, there is no feeling in this world that can equate the power delivery on this particular car. But before you even go further, Mr. Mirigi, who are the key rivals and how much does it cost?
Well, the key rival for this is, of course, the thing that started this all, the BMW X6, but the M variant. And Porsche recently came out with the Porsche Cayenne Turbo Coupe variant as well. Now, in terms of price, this is available for 21 million shillings.
And remember, DTW also has an offer. The lower spec GLE 400, which is the lower version of this particular car, goes for 12.5 to 13 million, depending how you will haggle. Just say Big Boy Trev sent you, and of course you'll be able to get the GLE Coupe. It has a lot of features that this has, and of course it comes at a pocket-friendly price for those who want to buy. Sadly guys, that's it for Cars with Big Boy Trev Season 2. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for supporting us, for being there for us. All your thoughts, questions, comments, we've been reading them, and the support has been amazing. From our media partner KTN Home, and of course to all our partners including DT Dobby, CMC, Kaitano, Nissan, Jaguar Land Rover South Africa, name them, Inchcape. Thank you for believing in Cars with Big Boy Trev. What do you have in store for Season 3, Mr. Miller?
Well, Season 3 is going to be even bigger and better. We've not been playing since Episode 1 of Season 1. We've been stepping this up at each available opportunity, and Season 3 is going to be bigger, better, faster, more affordable, more expensive, and it's just going to be very, very good.
That's it. Drive safe.
Be safe.